Hello, fellow MBAers, and welcome to the exciting world of antitrust laws. I am Scott Caldwell, representing Team 2, and so let's go ahead and begin here.
You guys are the greatest duo since Hewlett and Packard, Lennon and McCartney.
Ben and Jerry.
That, of course, was a clip from the movie Antitrust, as it were, so get ready to put on your hard hats, tighten up your ties, and hold on for the wild and exciting ride of antitrust laws. Very briefly, I'll go over what are antitrust laws. Basically, in a nutshell, these are laws set forth by the United States government to help protect small businesses and consumers alike from unethical practices that could hurt anyone, and just basically it just tries to keep people in line to stop them from unethical practices. Okay, 4 key principles you need to remember here: Sherman Act, Clayton Act, Robertson-Patman Act, and the Federal Trade Commission Act. I want to make a note: the Robertson-Patman Act, not to be confused with Robert Pattinson, the actor from Twilight. I myself have never seen it, but I confuse the rules nonetheless. Okay, Sherman Act, the first act we had, and it's really when the federal government started to flex their muscles, if you would, to try to reel in these unsavory practices. Followed by the Clayton Act, which really filled in the loopholes, and it's really the first legislation that you see in regards to antitrust where we see the monopolies being brought into it, and how the federal government is trying to hinder monopolies. Okay, Robertson-Patman Act, that takes a step further, fills in some more loopholes, but also really focuses on price discrimination. And price discrimination is bad, and we'll talk about that further on. And also the Federal Trade Commission Act, and as you guessed it, it established the FTC. Okay, key principle here. I cannot stress this enough. At the bottom, is the intent to promote or suppress fair competition? Sounds reasonable, hence the name, rule of reason. Just like the reasonable person standard, this is the reasonable person standard for antitrust laws. Okay, big cases we may have all seen in the news. Feel free to read the attached notes on your own, but we all know Microsoft and AT&T, major monopolies that the FTC had to come in and break up. Okay, what do sports laws have to do with antitrust? Well, the NFL itself is not available to get away from antitrust laws. Long story short, they filed for an exemption for antitrust laws because they said they had 36 small businesses, which would be their teams, and it turns out the Supreme Court said no, regardless of what you are still a business, and you have to abide by the same laws as everyone else. And I encourage you to read the attached case on this. Okay, a comic about evil monopolies, because monopolies, of course, can never be good. Okay, and price fixing, as gas is all the same price, but poor old Joe gets hassled by the FTC. Alright, what is price fixing? Well, you're all a bunch of pretty smart guys and girls out there, so I bet you can figure it out, but I'll talk about it very briefly to help you out here. Basically, it's when a group gets together and that establish similar goods or services or commodities and tries to fix the market, fix the price, so that you can enjoy the free market pricing. So they try to put a stranglehold on the market, if you will, and not let the market run its course. Okay, violate Section 1 of the Sherman Act, also very important to note. Okay, price fixing in the news, very briefly go over this case. As you see here, these companies actually were involved in a price fixing scandal with LCD screens, and they actually tried to put a stranglehold on the market, and New York State is going after them because the government overpaid millions and millions of dollars for these things, and that's taxpayer dollars, and especially in these economic times, we need every cent for the government, and also Dell Computers as well. Okay, we've all heard of, or maybe seen the movie The Informant. Talks a little bit here about price fixing. I won't go into it too much and ruin the end for you, but I highly recommend you see the movie. Okay, some thoughts on price fixing. Number 1, you won't see it here. It's bad. Don't do it. Okay? While it's not practiced by a company in a monopolistic position, it can still create a similar situation as long as the company has a disproportionate market share. So, as long as you have that major share of goods or services or commodities, then you can be engaged in price fixing if you're trying to hurt the market. Okay? So we'll talk about the good and the bad and leave out the ugly here. Hinders monopolies, that's good. Helps protect small businesses, also good. Fair and lower prices for consumers like you and I. Great. Rule of reason, another good thing. Okay, here we have the statue of man controlling trade. I actually tried to jump on that and get a picture because it is here outside of the FTC headquarters in DC, but didn't go so well, so I'll leave you with that for now. Okay, some more good things. Quality of goods, availability for consumers. That's great. We want what we want and want to be able to get it when we want it. Fewer unfair advantages, and it also allows for innovation. Okay, if you're not putting a stranglehold on the market, more people can come in. Some bad things, it does restrict free markets. A lot of economists will tell you that the market should be allowed to do what they do, and so be it the outcome, and the consumer just deals with it, and it should all work out in the end. Those are for the economists, and this is a law class, so I won't butt heads. It can hinder competition. Major conglomerates face the free rider problem, which I encourage you to read more into, and vertical agreements are hampered as outlined in this here comic, which a comment is made that I can see myself saying. Entrant effect is a bad thing, and basically when big businesses get together, the entrant effect can be a hindrance to small businesses trying to get into the market because the big businesses kind of maintain that stranglehold. And also another key point, doctrine of laissez-faire. It's French for hands off. And basically a lot of economists believe that you should let the market do what it does, and the government should sit there and hands off and let it do what it does and just control the grossly negligent things. I think what we have now is pretty good, so I'll stick what's written in the book. Okay, big scenario here. Talk about it very briefly. Please read into it more. Intel. We all know Intel. We've all seen their commercials. They were involved in scandals in not one, not two, but three markets and major lawsuits. Basically, they try to do unsavory practices, if you will, to force AMD out of the market, not be able to be in their markets. And as you see, as I said before, three things here, three cases that were very expensive, in the billions and billions of dollars for them. Please read into this one. It's a very interesting case, and it's very recent. Lessons learned. The biggest lesson you won't see here, don't be shysty. Have fair practices. This is trade. It should be fair for everyone, from the small business down the supply chain all the way to the consumers like you and I. Okay? The good of the whole is better than the benefits of one. True in life. Short-term gain leads to long-term pain. Intel, NFL, all examples. Know the law and know a lawyer. I only know Professor Emerson right now, so I'm going to abide by the law. And promotion of fair competition equals lower prices, of course. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to email myself or any of the members of Team 2, and I will see you all at Finals in Gainesville very shortly. Thank you.